them in halves. Take out the meat of them and boil them in fair water a good while, changing the water once or twice in the boiling to take away the bitterness of them. When they are tender, take them out and scrape away all of the meat, if any be left, very clean. Then cut them as thin as you can to make them hold in a long string or in reasonably short pieces, and lay them in your glass. And boiling some of the best white wine vinegar with sugar to a reasonable thin syrup poured upon them into your glass, and keep them for your use. To preserve oranges or lemons, take your oranges or lemons, lay them in water 3 days and 3 nights to take away their bitterness. Then boil them in fair water till they be tender. Make as much syrup for them as you will make them swim about in the pan. Let them not boil too long therein, for it will make the skins tough. Then let them lie all night in the syrup, to make them take the syrup. In the morning, boil the syrup to this thickness, and put them in gallipots or glasses to keep them all the year. And this is the best way to preserve oranges, lemons, or citrons. To make paste of lemons, take half a dozen of the grind lemons, cut them through the middest, and boil them tender in fair water. Then stamp them in a mortar. Strain the juice or pulp from them and dry it. And put 2 pounds of sugar to it. Then make it into what fashion you will. On a sheet of white paper, dry it in an oven, and turn it over often for 2 days and 2 nights. For in that time it will be dry enough. Box it thus, and it will endure all the year. Medicines made of lemons, to take away the spots or red pimples of the face. Take half a pint of rainwater and half a pint of good bitter juice. Seethe it till it be half consumed. Then whilst it boils, fill it up again with juice of lemon. And so let it seethe a pretty while. Then take it from the fire, and when it is cold, put it in the whites of 4 new-laid eggs, well beaten. With this water anoint the place often. A very good medicine for the stone. Make a posset of a quart of Rhenish wine, a pint of ale, a pint of milk. Then take away the curd, and put into the drink 2 handfuls of sorrel, 1 handful of burnet, and half a handful of balm. get her a good while, but not too long, lest the drink be too unpleasant. Then take of the drink a quarter of a pint, or rather half a pint at once at morning, and to bedward, putting therein first 2 or 3 spoonfuls of juice of lemons. This is an excellent medicine for the stone of the kidneys, to dissolve and bring it away. It is very good in these diseases of the stone to use burn it often in your drink at meals, and often to steep it overnight, and in the morning put in 3 or 4 spoonfuls of the juice of lemons, and to drink thereof a good draught every morning, a week together, about the full of the moon 3 days before, and 3 days after. Of roses. Take damask rosebuds, pluck them, and dry the leaves in the shadow, the tops of lavender flowers, sweet marigam, and basil. Of each a handful, all dried and mingled with the rose leaves. Take also of Benjamin storax, galangal roots, and Erios and orris root, twice as much of the orris as of any of the other, beaten in fine powder, a piece of cotton wool, wetted in rose water, and put in a good quantity of musk and ambergris, made into powder, and sprinkle them with some civet dissolved in rose water. Lay the cotton in double paper, and dry it over the chafing dish of coals. Lastly, take half a handful of cloves, and as much cinnamon bruised, not small beaten. Mix all these together, and put them in your bag. A very good poultice for any member swelled and inflamed, and not broken, to take away the pain. Take 3 pints of new milk, of stale manchet crumbs 2 handfuls, or so much as shall make the milk somewhat thick, and thereto put 2 handfuls of dried, red rose leaves, and 3 ounces of oil of roses. Boil all these together to the thickness of a poultice, then let it stand and cool, and while it cooleth, take a spoonful of oil of roses. With a warm hand rub the place grieved, till the oil be dried in. Then lay the poultice as warm as you may endure it, to the part inflamed. Do this morning and evening for 3 or 4 days, and you shall see cause. Make a sweet cake, and with it a very sweet water. Take damask rose leaves, bay leaves, lavender tops, sweet marjoram tops, Erios powder, damask powder, and a little musk, first dissolved in sweet water. Put the rose leaves and herbs into a basin, and sprinkle a pint of rose water among them, and stirring them all together, cover the basin close with a dish, and let them stand so covered all night. In the morning distill them. So shall you have at once an excellent sweet water, and a very fine sweet cake to lay among your finest linen. Oil of roses. roses. Take salad oil and put it into an earthen pot, and then take rose leaves, clip off all of the white, and bruise them a little, and put them into the oil, and then stop the top close with past and set it into boiling pot of water, and let it boil 1 hour, then let it stand 1 night, hot embers. The next day, take the oil and strain it from the rose leaves into a glass, and put therein some fresh rose leaves, clipped as before. Stop it, and set it in the sun every day for a fortnight or 3 weeks. Syrup of roses. Take damask roses, clip out the white of them, and take 6 ounces of them to every pint of fair water, first well boiled and then scummed. Let them stand so as above said 12 hours, as you do in the syrup of violets, wringing out the roses and putting in new 8 times, then wringing out the last, put in only the juice of 4 ounces of roses, so to make it up as before. If you will put in rhubarb, take 2 every 2 drams, slice it, string it, or shred it, hang it within the pot after the first shifting, and let it infuse within your roses. Some used to boil the rhubarb in the syrup, but this is dangerous. Of almonds. To make almond milk, take a rib of mutton or veal, or rather a chicken, boil it in fair water. Put thereto French barley, a fennel root, a parsley root, violet leaves, strawberry leaves, and boil them all together till the meat be overboiled. Then strain out the liquor from the rest. While they are boiling, blanch a portion of the almonds answerable to the liquor. Beat them well in clean stone mortar, then grind them therein with rose water and sugar. And when they are well ground, put into your liquor by little and little, and grind with them until it all be well compounded, and then strain it into a fair glass, and use it at your pleasure. Oil of almonds. Take almonds, blanch them, put them into a pot, set the pot into another pot of water that boileth, and the steam of the seething pot will arise and enter into the pot with the almonds, and that will become oil when they are stamped and ringed through a cloth, thus make oil of the kernels of filberts, walnuts, etc. To make almond butter, blanch 1 pound of almonds or more, or less as you please. Lay them 4 hours in cold water, then stamp them with some rose water, as fine as you can. Put them in a cloth, and press out as much milk as you can. Then, if you think they be not enough, beat them and strain them again, till you get as much milk of them as you can. Then set it on the fire, till they be ready to boil, putting in a good quantity of salt and rose water, to turn it after 1 boiling. Being turned, take it off, cast it abroad upon a linen cloth, being holden between 2. Then with a spoon take off the whey under the cloth, so long as they will droop and run. Then take so much of the finest sugar you can get, as will sweeten it, and melted in as much rose water as will serve to dissolve it. Put there too so much saffron and fine powder as will color it, and so steeping the saffron in sugar and rose water, season your butter therewith when you make it up. Of strawberries. Pick and wash your strawberries clean. Put them in the past one and them by another, as thick as you can. Then take sugar, cinnamon, a little ginger, finely beaten and well mingled together. Cast them upon the strawberries and cover them with the lid finely cut into lozenges, and so let them bake a quarter of an hour. Then take out, stewing it with a little cinnamon and sugar, and so serve it. Of medicines. To strengthen the back weak or diseased, take the pith of an ox's back, wash it in wine or ale, and beating it very small, strain it through a coarse cloth, and make a caudle of it, with muscadine or strong ale boiling it therein, a few dates sliced and stones taken out, and drink it first and last as warm as you can, walking well, but temperately after it. Toasted dates often eaten are very good for the same. For pain or ache in the back, take nip, archangel, parsley, clary, of each half a handful, wash them clean, and cut them small. Then fry them with a little sweet butter. Then take the yolks of 3 or 4 eggs, beat them well together, and put them to the herbs, fry them all together, and eat them fasting every morning with some sugar, to take away the unsavoriness of the herbs. Some used to take only clary leaves and parsley washed, not cut, or clary leaves alone, and powering the yolks of the eggs upon them, so fry them and eat them. For a sudden bleeding of the nose, burn an egg shell in the fire till it be as black as a coal, then beat it into a fine powder, and let the party snuffle it up his nostrils.